If your goal is to become rich, in today's video, I'm going to be unleashing some of the things that will help you to become rich. These are some of the things that I've learned along the way from starting multiple business and also my background of coming from a place of poverty. As early as 6 years old, I promised myself that I was going to change certain generational mindset and path. And if you're someone that's living from paycheck to paycheck and you're trying to change your life, then this video is definitely for you. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I highly encourage that you tap that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on any of these videos. Let's tap into the first one, and that is your mindset. A lot of us were brought up in different homes with different beliefs, and one of the things that I had to do was to rewire my entire mindset, and that includes my mindset around money, also my mindset around how the world actually is and what is it that I need to change in order to become the person that I am today. Most of us grew up hearing that money doesn't grow on trees. We were taught that talking about money is a bad thing. But I'm here to tell you that your mindset around money actually matters when it comes on to being successful. So you want to make sure that you are not thinking that, oh, if you talk about money is a bad thing. Because ultimately, a lot of our souls, they actually suffer because of the fact that they don't have financial literacy. They don't talk about money. Even in relationships, we could see that because people do not plan their finances, they end up being broke. So having a good mindset around money will ultimately help you towards getting rich sooner rather than later. Once you understand how to use money, then you will understand that after all, what you grew up hearing about money is actually quite the opposite. So getting your mindset around money right is definitely the first step towards getting rich. The second thing is your influence to solve problems. While you want to make money, it is important that you understand that your influence plays a huge part in making more money. When it comes on to influence and becoming rich, you have to ensure that you're able to resolve problems. And that is why your influence to solve problems is really big. It's never about you, but it's also about the people that you want to influence in order to change. For example, this video is about how to become rich. We talked about mindset around money, and the ultimate goal is to help you get rich by changing your mindset around money. So this example is basically saying that if you struggle with your mindset around money, this is what you need to do in order to stop that, and that is to get your mindset into a better place when it comes on to money. It is the same thing with your influence to solve problem. The moment you understand that it's never about you, but it is about the people that you serve, that is when you will start to make more money. Another tip to become rich is to stay away from bad debt. Now, there are so many different definitions I could tell you when it comes on to bad debt. Some will look at taking out loans as getting into debt. Some will look at taking out credit cards as a bad debt. But let me explain. Bad debts will include credit cards that you have accumulated balances on that are overdue that you're not paying on. That will basically put you into bad debt. Now, good debt is basically taking out a loan, purchasing an asset, and with that asset, you can pay back that loan in a short-term base, and that asset is able to make you hundreds and thousands of dollars per month. That is good debt. So staying away from using credit cards unnecessarily, and I'm going to use the word unnecessarily because you do have businesses that will use credit card to help with their cash flow and replace that balance before the due date. So you have to understand when it comes on to bad debts, you have to understand how to use debt in order to increase your profits or increase your wealth. And majority of the people that are wealthy actually use debt in order to make more money. So we want to look at good debt and bad debt so we can understand how to use it in order to become rich. The next thing is don't try to look rich, be rich. A lot of people try to flex and try to flaunt with the money that they don't have because they want to appear rich. The goal is to be rich, not to look rich. And let me explain. When you actually spend more money than what you have purchasing luxury items, and you try to live a life that basically is running you into debt and running you into a position where you can't afford things, that is when you will stay poor. The goal is to have a rich mindset, look poor, and build up your assets. You don't want to live above your means because you want to look rich. That is the first thing that will definitely destroy you in becoming wealthy. And it goes right back to your mindset as well. A lot of rich and wealthy people, they don't try to impress others. They don't even try to look rich. They ensure that their bank account is building up each time and not taking away from them because they're following the latest trends or they're living above their means. The goal is don't try to look rich, be rich. And if you understand how the rich versus the poor thinking are, you will understand that wealthy people don't try to impress others. They don't try to flaunt, and they don't try to live above their means. The next tip on how to become rich is your relationship. And I'm specifically talking about your relationship in terms of your marriages and your life partners. It is so important to look at the partner that you are choosing, because with the wrong partner, everything can be destroyed for you. Your mental health, your physical, your financial health, and your spirituality. So whenever you are looking to enter a relationship with someone, you have to make sure that you are compatible in your goals, because having someone or marrying someone that has a completely different goal from you can actually set you up for failure. There are so many stories around relationships that actually ruined a person of their finances and put them into a place of brokenness. So it is important that whenever you are choosing your partner, your person that you will marry, you have to make sure that your finances are in place. Do not think that, okay, and this is for the women, do not think that you should put everything into a man, meaning that you should ensure that you're making your own bag, you're making your own money at the end of the day. I know some people are not going to like this, especially some persons that are married, but I believe that, and I know that when you have your finances separately, and I don't mean separately as a roommate, as a woman, even if you're married, it is important that you have your own money, because things can happen. No one is perfect. And also, you cannot put your entire trust in a person, because at the end of the day, everyone has their own mind, everyone has their own thinking, and you have to make sure that you're covering yourself. So when it comes on to becoming rich, your relationship is important. You have to ensure that your partner is compatible. Choosing the right person is important, because choosing the wrong person can take away your freedom, your finances, and it can also take away your confidence. So ensure that whosoever you are about to get married to or you're entering into a relationship with, they're able to support, motivate you, and inspire you in some way for you guys to do so well in life. The next one is learning and high income skills. A lot of people get rich because of the fact that they know things that will be able to make them more money. And that can include skills like copywriting, coding, marketing, and even nowadays where AI is getting more and more popular, people are learning how to use AI and they're making millions of dollars by just learning the high income skills. So if you want to become rich, learning a skill that will be able to make other people money will make you millions of dollars. It is not how much you know, it is what you know. Don't get the idea of you need to go to college in order to get a high income skills. All these high income skills can be learned on the internet. Like YouTube is free, Google is free, Canva is free. Also ChatGPT is free for you to learn all of these high income skills, and these skills will definitely help you to become rich. Because I can tell you from my standpoint, after working with hundreds of companies, including Fortune 500 companies over the years, as someone who has experience in sales and marketing, I can tell you that I made those companies thousands of dollars, which in return helped me to make a lot of money online. So learning a high income skills is definitely one way that you can monetize and become rich. Some people were taught that, okay, once you invest money, you can lose money. Okay, yes. If you invest money. It's a win or lose type of situation, but don't look at it like that because some investments are worth the try. For example, in the S&P 500, you'll be exposed to index funds, and those give you opportunity to invest into different companies, not just one company, but multiple companies. So that means you have a bigger chance of actually making money through your investments. Another thing to understand is how you will invest. I actually like investing into appreciating assets. Those are things like rental units and storage units, which means that you will be able to see a return on your investment. It's not just putting your money into the stock market, but also diversifying your investment. That is the key in order to grow as an investor and to make more money investing. So we were told that we should save our money, but in reality, investing our money where we could see our money grow over a long period of time is definitely the right thing to do. So in order to build wealth, it's important that you set aside your investments and your savings first. A lot of people pay themselves last, and whatever is left from their grocery shopping, from their rent, from their utility bill, that is what they actually put in their savings or invest that amount of money. However, this should be quite different because you should approach saving and investing first before your expenses. Next tip to become rich is to surround yourself with the right people. They always say it's not what you know, is who you know, and that is not far from the truth, because with a good network, you'll be able to strive more. They say when you surround yourself with intelligent and people that are already climbing the ladder towards success, you are definitely closer in reaching there than sitting around people that actually talks bad about people with negative energy. It is important that you choose your friends wisely, because with the wrong friends, you can actually get yourself into a lot of setbacks, and it will ultimately change your destiny and your future. And how you go about doing that is connecting with them on LinkedIn, watching your podcast, following them on their social networks, commenting and engaging with their content. And that is how you try to build a network and get into a space where you want to be in instead of trying to figuring it out yourself. The next tip to become rich is getting ready to get to work. Getting rich is not a walk in the park. It's not one of those things where you win the lotto or you get lucky or you got some money from your mother or your aunt or an inheritance type of thing. It is where you actually have to put in a lot of work, and sometimes you're going to feel like you want to give up. And that is where resilience comes into place. That is where discipline comes into place, and that is where desire comes into place. Getting ready to work is not about sitting around the computer 24/7 or watching hundreds of YouTube videos on how to get rich. It is about working on yourself as well. Your mindset plays an important part in whatever you do in life to become successful. What you think you are is what you're going to become. So it's important that you have a rich mindset. The ultimate thing that you have to keep in mind is that most millionaires and billionaires today, they had to go through so many obstacles to reach where they are today. And if they were supposed to give up, you wouldn't hear all these success stories. Success takes 99% consistency, but that 1% is resilient, which can either make or break you to become successful. If you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, it's definitely not worth it. Anything that comes easy will go easy. The ultimate thing is to play the game long in order to reap the benefits for long-term generational wealth. Those were some tips on how you can become rich. If you take heed and follow some of these tips, you will definitely see a huge change in your life in the next couple of months. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up also. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, turn on your post notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos. And I'll see you in my next video.